Blackhawks number 4, written by Mike Costa, art by Graham Nolan. We left off last issue with Kunoichi using her nanites to help stop Titus, who is running through the facility, and grabbed a control rod from the nuclear reactor at the end of last issue. Didn't know that then, know it now because of this issue. This issue picks up pretty much exactly where we left off. There's two plots that keep coming back and forth. They don't really intertwine at all, so I'm just going to cover one and then cover the other. Main plot, A plot, Kunoichi and Titus. So Kunoichi is like geeking out because she's like, there's like a heads-up display on my retinas and it's making me feel sick, but I'm able to see everybody, including everybody's media. And they're like, oh, that's cool, let's go. Glad you're messing around with this. We kind of have a situation. They're like, right. Also, the threat is the radiation alarm is about to go off because there's radiation literally leaking everywhere because of what Titus has done. So radiation is going off, alarms are going off, and they're like, all right, everyone, we need defensive scenarios. We got a reactor breach. People are going to have to start evacuating soon. Then Lady Blackhawk storms in. It's like, all right, this is spinning out of control. Security's fried. We need to figure out what we're doing here. And it's like, Lincoln says, like, all right, bottom line, we're going to have to evacuate our own base and get out of here while Titus is able to do whatever he wants. And Lady Blacklock's like, are you kidding me? Like, first, how did he even know where our nuclear material was? I didn't even know we had nuclear material. And he's like, look, the order is we leave. I don't like it, but he can wait us out because he can self-repair. We got a deal. And Kunoichi chimes in, is like, actually, I have the same thing he has, so maybe I could fight. And so they're like, all right, everyone evacuate except for Kunoichi, because apparently she's going to go try to fight him. The dude that she's in the infirmary with, Irish man, or just Irish, no, Irishman, gives her a knife. And it's just like, didn't think to bring my sidearm to the hospital room, but you could use this at least. Hopefully it's something. Superman couldn't even take this level of a beating, and she's like, well, I'm better than Superman, and I take umbrage with that. But regardless, she starts making her way down there. She starts feeling a bit woozy because of all the nanites in her system, throws up real quick. She's like, oh god, this sucks. So as she makes her way down to the hangar bay where Titus finally is, he's cutting his way via the control rod into a space shuttle, and he's like, yeah, I bet I could fly you. You'd be fun to bring back. And Kunoichi's like, boy, you look awful. You're barely keeping up with the radiation poisoning, aren't you? And he's like, yeah, but neither are you, and I've got 10 times the nanites you do, so I should be able to last a hell of a lot longer than you. And he's just like, well, by my math, you look like hell, and I don't, so let's fight. So they fight. Literally just a whole bunch of, like, the knife and the sword, and they're stomping on each other, and they're doing whatever. But it looks like Titus has the upper hand before Kunoichi finally gets the idea, oh, right, I'm hacked into the entirety of this building's everything, including the hangar bay. So as Titus stands up to gloat for a second, she turns on the rocket thrusters on the plane right behind him and rams him into a wall and explodes him. And as they step out of the wreckage, Titus is still standing, but then he immediately falls off a cliff to his seeming demise. Lady Blackhawk runs in, finds Kunoichi's body. She's still doing all right, but she is in bad shape. So she's like, I'm going to bring her to the medical bay that didn't explode, and I need a doctor with me stat. And Lincoln's like, fine, that only takes one man, though. I want everyone else down in that gorge finding Titus's body and any other tech that might have ended up down there. And Kunoichi's like, I'm sorry I messed up, boss. Please don't fire me. And he's like, I couldn't fire you if I wanted to. You're famous. So that's where that plot leaves off. Pretty much ending the Titus thing, I think. B plot was Wildman and Canada. They're still being seduced by Mother Machine, to join their whole machine city thing, to be absorbed into that. And Wildman seems pretty into it. Canada seems pretty skeptical. At one point, they're walking through just like a hangar bay or something like that, and they're like, hey, is this thing a plane? And it's like, yes, it is. And he's like, I know planes. And this is Canada talking. And he's like, I know planes. I'm pretty good with planes. I feel like I can fly pretty much anything. And she just whacks Mother Machine in the head with a set of stairs. And they hop on the plane, and it's just like, look, I can fly anything. We got to get out of here. Let's hop on this plane. And he's like, what do you mean? What do you mean you can fly anything? These things are super advanced machines. They don't even think, like, they couldn't think as slowly as us if they tried. You think they made a plane that you can fly? And he's like, yep, let's go. So they hop in the plane. There's no windows. There's no nothing. But he gets a feel for it. He finds the joystick, throttle, whatever you want to call it. And he's like, all right, well, here goes nothing. So miraculously, he somehow gets it in the air. He lifted off. He can't see, like, they don't have a windshield. They're not able to see anything. But the display is like being beamed directly onto his retinas, according to him. And Wildman makes the question. He's like, wait a minute, hold on. So they're just letting us escape? Like, we just bashed in their leader in the head and they're just letting us go? And it's like, no, I'm not making any attempt to actually fly this thing independently. Like, we're just following a pre-scheduled flight path. I don't know where that's going to take us, but I have some ideas. And it's like, Wildman's like, do I want to know where we are right now? And Kenna's like, no, not really, as we see that they are shooting out into deep space. So, yeah, that's where the issue as a whole lines up. I liked it. It was a solid thing. I felt like the Titus thing may have wrapped. I mean, there's nothing to say that it has actually wrapped up, but it feels like it's wrapped up. It just felt like it wrapped up a bit quick, where it's just like, okay, yes, he got out and he's able to do whatever he wants in this place, but it turns out that he was just planning on leaving as well, which I guess he's been through the ringer, but at the same point, I feel like he would have done something with all the tech in that place. Regardless, it's a fine issue. The art is average to good. It's not fantastic. It's not standout, but it's average to good. Writing-wise, I liked it. It was fun. It was, good fight scenes or whatever. Nothing really stood out in any particular way, though. So I'm going to give this 6.5. Like, it's good. It's fine. But it's nothing that's like, wow, that's amazing. It's just a nice little fun read, and there's nothing wrong with that at all.